Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of everyone's favorite show, Life's Little Chroments. This week we'll be going over a track breakdown of my song Deep Dark. It's just a little sample of it. If you want to hear the full jam, it's on my channel. It's the last video before this one. I'm pretty happy with the whole setup of this sound. Also, I have not mentioned, I'm talking into a makeup mirror. This is not normal for me. I just kind of wanted to be a little bit more in my videos, and I'm not going to buy another camera because I'm cheap. And this is a weird angle, so I'm going to keep working on this, but currently this was the best I could get. So hope you enjoy the underside of my chin and my unshaven neck. The only problem with this that I can see is that it's a little bit less directly on here, but I think you can still see things alright. But let me know what you think in comments, and I'll work on it for the next video. But yeah. So, the main one that I would like to just get right to that I'm proud of with this is that I managed to make a pretty good sounding piano with the chord engine. The main thing that I was a little bit upset with when I got rid of my Digitakt was the inability to put piano in some of my songs, because I do like to do that. And this obviously isn't a piano, but it's pretty good. It does the job. So I'm going to definitely use that in a lot of songs in the future. So I guess we'll just jump straight into that one. So track 8 I have as the chord engine. And let's just see what it sounds like by itself. So the thing is, by itself, I wouldn't say that it sounds a lot like a piano, but then like in the mix with everything else, it does sound quite a bit like a piano, as you heard. So that works for me. But yeah, there's not really much special about it, but it's on unison times 4, and yeah, it's just kind of a sweet spot, because around 14 on the what is it? It's the chord oscillator balance is where it sounded proper. I have the filter envelope at 82, punch is off, decay is at 89, overdrive is up quite a bit. Just overdrive really brightens a lot of sounds on the Syntakt. It's pretty good. I recommend using it a lot. And then the wave is at 40. So the wave is obviously the thing that manipulates the sound the most. So I kind of found that by accident. So this track sounded completely different for most of the time that I was making the jam, and then I kind of fell into that, and I was like, oops, that's awesome. So I stuck with it and became like the main focus of the jam. And then for LFOs, I have one for the chord oscillator balance. It is just doing, oh, actually, yeah. Never mind, it is off. I think I had it on before and it didn't really do much, and I wanted it to just sound like a piano, so I got rid of it. And then there's some low pass filter, and a little bit of resonance on it. And then I have a filter envelope. It's negative It's about -5, and then yeah, about that. I don't think getting exact isn't super important. You can see I change the filter envelope. It doesn't change the sound too much, but it does. Another fun thing about, oh yeah, and then the amp page, I got some attack just to soften it a little bit, but that's pretty much it. And then a lot of reverb and delay. Oh, just get out of the way as well. It's on 100 BPM and I have 60 swing. And because of the 60 swing, the delay, so obviously there's quite a bit of delay. I have like almost max width and ping pong, but the time, oops, you have to hold, if you want to see the stats on the delay page, you also have to hold function when you do it. It's at 1/8 instead of, it defaults to 1/8 dotted note, but 1/8 dotted note doesn't sound super good with swing. So I recommend trying just normal 1/8, and it sounds better. Yeah, I guess I'll look at their normal reverb page too. I don't even know if I changed anything for reverb. It might be just the default. So there's that. I have not done a track breakdown. I'm not super good at it. So I apologize if this is a bit all over the place. Also, I apologize if I keep covering my face with my incredibly high-tech camera, Pixel 6. But I'll just do my best here. That's all I can do. Oh yeah, and also out of the way, the keyboard is in this scale, which is in Sen. I have fold on, and the root note is A4. So there's that. Anyways, that's enough for that. Oh, actually, I also want to mention this sounds pretty awesome as a bass as well. So I will definitely be using that in the future. Or I'll just forget about it and never use it again. Let's see. Let's move on to another track. So I'll start with these the two kicks here. So I have the bass drum modern here, and what it sounds like this. So it's just kind of this pulsing, deep sound, which I really like. I say a lot, so apologize for that. So it's tuned down -12. It's got very small amount of sweep on it, punch on, a lot of decay, 84 square mod, 107 triangle mod, 48 mod envelope, and a lot of overdrive. No filter, but I have the envelope. So I'm confused if I have no filter on why the filter envelope is changing the sound. Oh well. Some things are a mystery to me. Got some attack there, and then some delay and some reverb. No LFOs, but... And the note is at A4 so that it's in tune with the piano. And then I got... That's pretty much it for that one. Oh, and the reason why I have it on purple here, so that's pattern mutes. Pattern mutes, you can save, quick save and quick load, and it will even save and load the mute state, which is pretty handy because if I'm just doing stuff all over the place, I can just hit quick load, and it goes back to this kind of home bass quiet sound, which I liked a lot for this song, to just go back there and then you can go back and build out from that point. So just to get that out of the way. Also, just to also say, there's a lot of this. I just keep thinking of things and I don't know what order to do them in. That's the problem when you don't write script for things, which I will never do because I am too lazy. My FX channel. The routing, I have just 6, 7, and 8, which are just basically my lead sounds going through it. So it's not doing a whole lot at the moment. What am I doing here? Anyways. So back to the tracks. The on my analog bass here, I got the bass hard drum. There's not a lot going on with it. It's pretty basic. There's just a bunch of tick and then waves at 0. Just a bunch of overdrive and some decay. The main thing is that I added some filter cutoff, which is funny because the filter cutoff kind of removes the snap, so it makes me wonder why I put up the snap. But yeah, so that it's not super fancy by itself, but with the digital kick sound together, they sound really cool. So that's that. And then I got, this is kind of like a mood setting thing. It just happens on the 3rd page. So we'll just put it with the other things. Watch on the 3rd page. So that is snare drum basic. Has snap on, a lot of decay, a lot of overdrive. What is this called? Modulation and feedback is pretty much maxed there. The inharmonicity, I've never read that before, is at 110. A lot of mod envelope. Actually, no mod envelope. And the tuning is up pretty high. Note that is also in tune with a, so if you change the tuning from the root, it defaults to C, of course, but if you change the root to anything besides C, just if you want your drums to be in tune and you're just hitting default without playing a specific note, just make sure you change the default note to, I mean, you don't have to, but a lot of the times drums will sound better if they're in the same, if they're in tune with the instruments. So that's a good tip. Let's see. All right, that's enough of that. And then I got the snare drum natural here. It's just a basic snare. Not really much to say about that. There's the things if you want to see. Oh yeah, on the last one I have it, I use the velocity cue to just do a little roll at the end when I was recording it. But yeah, that's it for that. Then we got a vintage clap here. So that one we got Space Red 11. Punch is on, decay is pretty low, balance is all the way to noise, body is pretty much maxed, body envelope is 98, and a lot of overdrive, filter, a bunch of low pass filter with some resonance, a lot of delay, a lot of reverb. That's it. Pretty cool sound. I just like how everything worked out in this. next we got, this is the noise for a shaker sound. Noise is fantastic. If you have a Syntakt and you're not abusing noise, you're wasting your Syntakt. It's just really useful for a lot of things. It's really good shaker sounds. We got 34 sweep, 48 sweep time, barely any attack, but I think that changes it a lot. So like even though it's only at 3, it's a big difference from like 0. So that's one to minutely change. Decay is at 61. We got some high pass filter, some low pass filter, and resonance. And then we got the what's going on, Syn Decay here. So this is playing with the decay. It's on hold, so it'll always just like stick at one thing instead of modulating during the sound. And then depth is at 44. BPM is 2. I'm sorry, I don't really need to be reading every single thing here, but my brain melts a little bit. And then we got some low pass filter, which makes a big difference. So when you're playing with noise, play with the filter, because that's one of the most important parts. Also, I keep just hitting reload no to reload everything when I change something I want it to go back, but I keep forgetting the actual best way to do that. If I'm changing one page and say I want to reload that and I don't want to reload everything because it'll unmute certain tracks like I just did, you can just hold that filter page and no, and it'll reload just that page. You can do the same with any other page. So if you ever just want to like quick load one page of things, just hold the thing and like I can change all this stuff and then quick load that, and it just reloads that. So that is a random tip in the middle of a track breakdown video, so I don't know how useful that is. Let's see here. Now we got this simple alloy sound, which will sound like this. That's a bit of a harsh sound, so I don't really keep it on a lot, but you can also play with it a bunch. Pretty max shimmer. You got punch on, bit of decay, bit of overdrive, and 0 radio, 17 mod, a bunch of high pass filter, an envelope here, so it's not a super strong change, but it makes a subtle change to it. The sound of it for the envelope there. So, and then I have that set to amp pan, which is a pretty standard thing that I do. Random LFO and then hold, so it'll just kind of ping pong a bit between the left and right. You can also just like record the panning so that it moves around, but if you do that, it's just more unpredictable. We got cymbals, simple ride. So the ride cymbal engine is pretty good in this. We got on B, 0 tuning, 70 hit decay, 27 normal decay, and the hit's pretty low, which is at 32, timber's at 37, wash is at 90, and overdrive is at 1/4 there. I think this one has some... Also, I might have forgotten some other like parameter locks that I have, because some of the tracks do have parameter locks. So if the sound seems to change when you listen to the song, that's probably why. Yeah. So this one, yeah, we got some parameter locks here. So I have, so I have certain hits. So like da 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 da. I got certain hits being louder, and it's different on every page. A little bit, yeah. Just a little bit of variety, just to keep a little bit of motion in there and make it more natural. If you don't do that sometimes with hi-hats, like sometimes it's the sound you want, but you can just make them sound really static and boring and robotic if you don't add, like, make certain hits stronger or louder or whatever. So that's a pretty good thing to do. Filter, no amp page stuff. And this also has, so it has the panning on, this one's on square wave, so I wanted it to be more reliable, so it's not random, but it's also on hold. And then I have the decay being random, so certain hits will last longer randomly, which adds a little bit more like human sounding to it. This is my bass. It is using the Syntone sound, which is the best. Also, I just became aware that my mic is a little bit high, so I'm sorry if my sound is kind of bad for this. Hopefully not. I'll find out after. So this is at, the ratio is at 0.25. The ratio is the most important part for it. It changes the whole sound of the tone a lot. Like, we'll change that one tone here. Sounds completely different. And then like one below. It's bizarre but pretty cool. So yeah, that, if you're playing with the Syntone, this knob, every single notch makes the sound completely different. Punch is off. Decay is at like max. Feedback. Modulation is at 96. Modulation envelope is at 76. Should have probably done that with a lot of the other tracks to let you see how the parameters actually affect the sound. Oh well. Overdrive is halfway. Filter, we got some low pass filter. Yeah, that's pretty important because that's a pretty horrible sound without low pass filter, so. Keep doing that. Amp, I just kind of cut off some release so it doesn't last super long, but that's it. And then Syntoy. So this is this kind of ghosty sounding thing in the background. It's pretty neat using the toy engine. Really like the toy engine. I did a video on it a little while ago, so go check that out. Yeah, I really like this. So this just has form at 88. So form changes the whole shape of the sound there, so that's a pretty important one. Punch is off, decay is at 68 or so. Impact, it's at 118, so. Brightness is at 57, so kind of like in the middle. But more towards the darker sound, because I wanted it to be more muted sound. And then the partial decay is at 93. To make it a bit more of a big, longer sound. And then some overdrive, as per usual. And the filter is cut off. And again, the low pass filter is the primary thing that makes the sound nice. I should stop saying primary because obviously all the things work together. If it's if it's just filtered by itself, it's not going to be doing very much. I got a lot of delay, a lot of reverb. That's it for that. And then the last one that I have not gone over is the Synbits. So this one is a bit harsh sounding. I think it's pretty cool sounding though, so I liked it. But you'll see in my performance, I tweak the sound pretty quickly off the initial. I brought the filter down, I think, and then what else did I do? I don't really remember, but yeah, I do tweak the sound of that pretty quickly the couple times that I bring it in, so that it doesn't stay ear piercing. But it is a pretty neat sound though, still. Piercing aside. It's at 32. Why am I starting at the bottom? Tuning is normal. Detuning is at 7, so pretty much always good to hold function and lock to those. Balance is at 110, which gives it a little bit of noise, but not too much. And then the decay is at 75, and then wave is at 32. And the what is this called? Yeah, sample rate reduction is at 17. So there's not a lot of it. It's not really noticeable, but there's some there. And the bit rate reduction is at 3.29. It just garbles the sound a little bit. And then some overdrive. Filter, quite a bit of high pass from the start. Yeah, that shape of filter and a lot of envelope. Oh, I think I did that as well. Let's get rid of some of the envelope because it makes it less whooshy. And then some delay and some reverb and a bit of attack and no LFOs. So yeah. So that's it for going over the tracks, and the only other thing I'll say is, really, that I can think of, one thing that I did partway through the song is on the effects track. Oh my god. On the effects track, there's a part where I used the effects track. I had the LFO set up, turned off with like 0 depth, but it's set to delay time and BPM 2, and then I had the whatever the downward one there. So when I turn that on, it does this kind of cool warpy effect, which is pretty neat. It sounds kind of gnarly if there's too many melodic things going on, but with the just drums, it sounds pretty cool. So I just did that for a bit. And that it doesn't really matter if you have things routed to it, because like none of these are routed, but it's changing the master delay, and that's just something that happens when you change the master delay to a little happy thing. That's pretty much it. I guess I'll just end that there. This is very long, and I don't know if anyone is watching it. I just looked, and it's like a half an hour long, so I probably won't do this a lot or ever, but I might keep trying to do a face thing, even though in my other videos it'll be a lot shorter. Anyways, for whatever portion of this that you may have watched, thank you for watching, and yeah, go check out the jam of this song, and check out some of my other videos. This is by far the longest one so far, so if you want some shorter little tips and tricks videos, mostly on the Syntakt, check those out. Anyways, hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. I won't talk to you, because this is a video. I'm never going to talk to you. I'll talk to you in the comments.